Hello, my friends. Welcome to Talk to Me Tuesday for Tuesday, February 11th, 2025. This is Jennifer. Well, guys, I'm back this week with a little bit more energy, but still a sprained wrist. So I'm going to give you some updates from what I've tried to do and a few things that I did before I got sick a couple of weeks ago. First up is a thing I forgot to share with you guys, which is this sweet little heart. This is one of Jules's designs that she did for her paper piecing club. If you want more info about that, go visit her YouTube channel. I'll put a link in the description. And yeah, so that was before I got sick, and it's been hanging on my wall, and I just totally forgot to mention it before. Guys, I was so tired last week, I think probably between having to compensate for this and just having got over being sick, that I didn't do nearly as much as I would have loved to have done. Anybody who's been watching for a while knows I love to get a lot of stuff done, and I kind of didn't. But I do have some show and tell. I mentioned previously that I was going to work on some titles for this, and I did get embroidery files designed for an entire row of titles. And after much trial and error and way too many hours, I managed to get one block done, and then I decided that it was just too much effort. It was too hard to do with one hand. And it was only 2 titles. So this is the Bob from the Dresden Files. He is a character from the story, and I did a couple of things from the Dresden Files on this block. I was so tired after doing that with one hand that I just decided to save it for later. The next day, after giving up on that, I thought, well, I have all of these scrap fabrics and just kind of stuck in a bin right now. And I have all these different ways to cut them up that is not rotary cutting, so maybe I'll try that. So the first thing I tried was making hexies with my Cricut. Someone on Cricut Design Space had already figured this out, and I'll put a link to their project in the description. It went really well for about 3 cuts, and I got all of these little hexies here. They're perfectly cut. I would just put a single layer of fabric down, stick it to the Cricut mat, and then send it through. And the tiny Cricut rotary cutter would cut them all out, and I would peel them off, stack them up. And I thought, this is it. I found the thing I'm going to do while my hand is in a brace. And then this happened. So this was the third or fourth one I did. I don't recall now, maybe the 4th one. And it just didn't cut all the way through. There were 3 different fabrics on the board when I did this, and they all cut like this. So I was so frustrated, I just put it away, and I didn't try again. This has been wildly frustrating for me, guys. I'm just not being able to use my hands is, anyway, not good for my mental health right now. When I put the Cricut idea aside for now, I decided, you know what, I'll pull out my AccuQuilt and I'll go from there. So I'd already ironed a bunch of fabric to put in the Cricut, one-handed. I'd already ironed a bunch of fabric to put in the Cricut. So I just switched and started doing stuff on my AccuQuilt. And I managed to cut this many charm squares before I had to stop because the AccuQuilt really needs 2 hands, and I was kind of pushing the die with my left forearm to get it in, and my elbow started hurting, and I was just like, I'm a mess. It's time to stop. I just need to stop trying to do stuff in here. I have a couple of small updates if you've made it this far. One is that my beautiful, wonderful gift from Jules from last year, my bird feeder camera, got water inside of it. The seal of the camera, I guess, broke, and there's water on the lens. And I waited and waited and waited to see if anything would improve. And it's super humid where I live, and it didn't get better. So I have retired that camera. And unfortunately, we'll probably have to retire that bird feeder as well, because I can't find a similar setup for the camera. The camera had wires sticking out of the back, and they seem to be proprietary, and I cannot find anyone else who has that exact setup. So I am switching my whole setup to Birdfy, BIRDFY. It's not that hard. Do you think I could spell that? Anyway, I'm switching my whole setup to bird feed, so I'm in the progress of doing that. So I should have more bird feeder camera footage pretty soon. It's not going to be until this is better, because I can't go out there and manipulate bird feeders and stuff right now. Final update is that I will be doing a new Raggedy Rescue Q&A. I haven't had a new video since last year, but I do have plans. You might see some little guys back here who need some TLC. I do have plans for some more raggedy content coming up this year. Again, all contingent on this. This was supposed to be a gift for my eldest child's birthday, which is just in a few weeks. And I actually just came clean with them, told them what the plan was. And so now we're going to kind of do a collaboration on that. At least I will be doing the work and they will be doing all the consulting on the things that I want to do for this. So anyway, Raggedy Rescue Q&A. I have a lot of questions that have been left on my different videos that I'm going to compile into one video. Guys, that is going to be it for me. I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you have a crafty week. You guys do some sewing for me and I'll see you next week. Bye.